like to define this in terms of security 360, in terms of food security, in terms of economic security, in terms of energy security. So we want to make this transition. We've been exchanging, trading forever in our domestic markets. But there's a big revolution brewing outside globally, and we'd like to plug jointly into now these global value chains. And so far, we've been producing a lot of commodities, and Saudi Arabia has a lot of exposure to the oil economy. But out there is an industrial 4.0 revolution going on, for which both countries are ready. And we'd like to join our hands and move from where we are to this new destination. And ladies and gentlemen, what all I have said, it ties in very neatly with the grand vision of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. Seamlessly ties into it. If you look at the kingdom's vision, what do you see? You see growth. And when you look at Pakistani economic vision, what do you see? You see exports. So growth in Saudi Arabia, exports from Pakistan, they tie together. That's our journey. What else do you see? You see resource-intensive clusters and energy-intensive clusters in Saudi Arabia. And what do you see in Pakistan? Employment-intensive cultures. What do you see inside Saudi Arabia? Our drive towards innovation, our drive towards diversification, our drive towards new technologies, new business models. And what do you see in Pakistan? A big thrust towards productivity. Everything that we're doing in Pakistan is about productivity. So when you put these things together, you see a natural synergy. We want remittances, you want indigenization, you want technologies, we have a lot of people, we have a lot of technology, we have a lot of engineering schools. It's all going to come together. In terms of your second thrust, a vibrant society, the values, the culture, the synergies, I think the only difference that you and I have, you and us have, is the thobe, and I have one at home. I was just telling His Excellency. So there you go. So behind the thobe, we are the same people culturally. You want Islamic values, we want family values. Our family values are what values? They're Muslim Islamic values. It's the same thing. You want a certain kind of vibrant cities. We have the northern areas where the families would be as comfortable as my family we would be in Riyadh. So bring your families, go to these mountains that we just showed in the video, and that would be the cultural exchange, that would be the societal exchange, the vibrant society, a new fabric that we can jointly weave. And from our perspective, as you would hear from SIFC, as you've heard from our Minister of Finance, and as you would hear from my boss, the Deputy Prime Minister, you would hear this. We are going to cut through the red tape and lay out a red carpet. That's our theme. You've already digitized. You're already creating a digital ecology. So everything comes together. Our vision, your vision, our vision together, it all converges as we move forward. We have a very clear strategy to do this, and I'd lay this out for you very quickly. First and foremost, we would leverage the assets that we already have. You know that we have mining resources, and you know that there is an electrification revolution brewing in the world. And the backbone of this electrification revolution is going to be copper. And we're probably the 6th or 7th richest country in terms of copper. And there's no electrification revolution without copper. And you have the biggest clusters of smelting in Saudi Arabia. You take this raw material, you smelt it, and we jointly move it downstream, and we've all plugged into this great revolution of electrification. So we leverage. You have the world's largest resources of crude, and we have a growing population and a stable economy which is poised to grow at 4 to 5%. So all of these crude resources we can lock into, from crude to chemical, from crude to liquids, a great opportunity. And you are digitizing, not just within Saudi Arabia, but creating a global footprint in terms of artificial intelligence, in terms of machine learning. And what do we have? We have engineering schools. We have more engineers than we can accommodate at a price which is unmatchable across the world. So we leverage these resources together to plug into global value chains. That's our first strategic thrust. And we open up new markets. In order for us to open these new markets, to build this economic highway, we need infrastructure. We need road infrastructure, we need rail infrastructure, we need port infrastructure. And what is the expertise that Saudi truly, if you look at, I always tell people, you go to Saudi Arabia, the kingdom, and you would see a revolution of capital investments the world has never seen. If you look at the transition of the kingdom over the past 20, 25, 30, 35 years, the history of mankind has never seen any revolution of infrastructure like the kingdom has put together over the past few decades. So with that kind of expertise in infrastructure and this kind of need of infrastructure, you put this together and you get all the answers. So we have the infrastructure both to unleash our mining resources, but also to tap into new Central Asian markets. A whole new economy which is sitting out there. And finally, as I mentioned, we've already moved towards security, and you would see through the day, through the course of the day, you would see food security, you would see health security, you would see pharmaceutical investments, you would see joint programs, physician exchanges, educational exchanges. So you're going to see all of that, what I call 360 security. And we've already spoken about the culture. These are the 13 strategic sectors that Vision 2030 has highlighted. And right now, all of the programs that we are putting together, they would seamlessly plug into the sectors that you've already highlighted. We want to build synergy. So you would see today that we've already highlighted 7 to 8 sectors, and we have 35 value propositions in these sectors that you've highlighted. So we're putting in front of you things and directions in which you already want to go. Nothing new. And these are exactly the sectors, whether it be healthcare and pharmaceuticals, whether it be financial services and the role that we can play in terms of back end, whether it be consumer goods and retail. Right now, when you look at NEOM City or when you look at other grand projects, what do they need? They need construction materials. And when you walk into the northern areas of Pakistan and you see mountains, what do you think these mountains are? These are construction materials. They're granite, they're marble. They're all construction materials. And finer construction material than you would get from Italy at a price which is a fraction. So businessmen sitting here, they know exactly what to do with that. And that's exactly the direction in which we want to go. And this is the criteria, Your Excellency, based upon our last conversation and based upon the conversation you have seen from our finance minister and what you're going to hear from my boss. You will see that we're going to titrate every single project that we put in front of you against these evaluation criteria, against investment returns, risks, capabilities, strategic and innovation and technology. And in the teasers that we've put together, and you have the booklet, you would see the first cut of these evaluation criteria. You will find the high-level information on every value proposition. You'd find elements of these criteria in the teaser. And when our businessmen and your businessmen, they join hands and they sit together and sign NDUs, you would begin to see the details of all of this information. These are the projects. You have the teasers. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. But all of these areas are the areas that you've already highlighted in Vision 2030. Our success, your success, jointly together would bring about a revolution. And I'm confident that we'd be able to participate in it and make a success of it. And in order to make a success of it, as our Chief of the Army Staff yesterday also mentioned, we've put together SIFC. When we say from red tape to red carpet, what we mean is SIFC. What used to happen in a year now happens in a month. Very soon, it will happen in a week. We've put together a strategy which is going to de-risk you. And right now, we've hired the best-in-class people to take these ideas, to take these teasers, and make them very detailed value propositions through the process of due diligence and business plans. I'm sure we'll succeed, but only if you hold our hands. Thank you.